Be a sanctuary to have tried and true with thanksgiving. I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Be sanctuary. Thanksgiving. I'll be true. My shame, God, גם
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to one of the many sanctuaries of United Hebrew Congregation. It is so hard to believe that tonight we have reached a milestone. We have reached a year, the year anniversary since we were last together in this, what at one time we thought of as our singular sanctuary. And on the one hand, it feels like it was just yesterday, while on the other hand, it feels like it was eons and eons ago. So much has happened in the space of 365 days. And tonight we focus on the journey that we all have been living from last March to this one. And standing now at the threshold of the second year, much as our Israelite ancestors did in this week's parasha, in the double portion of Parashat Vayakel Pekudei, the Israelites complete the building of the Mishkan, their wilderness sanctuary. The Mishkan was their dwelling.
רצון ינחיר לנו זיכרון מעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תחייה קודש זכר לציון ביצרים קיווינו וחי ואותנו גילה מכל ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת We say together, Amen. L'chaim, L'chaim David, L'chaim Rabbi Rosenberg, L'chaim to all of you who are helping us make this service reach all of the people in our community. L'chaim, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. So it has been a year since many of you sat in our Mishkan, in our beautiful sanctuary. I remember that Friday. I remember clearly that Friday as we watched as congregation after congregation after congregation in St. Louis said, "We're going live tonight, we're not having services." And we kept saying, "We can't close, not yet. If people still want to come, we are going to open our doors." And we roped off our seats, we prepared ourselves for social distancing and prepared ourselves what we thought might be a number of months of us spreading out across the sanctuary. That wasn't to be. We held that service. I think we were somewhere between 50 and 75 strong that evening, and we were shocked, but we all needed it, those who came. And yet, within the next week, we all shut down. Our state shut down. And yet, God has dwelled, even though you have not physically sat in this sanctuary, most of you for over a year. God has dwelled in all of the places and the spaces that we have let God in. We have built sanctuaries in our homes, we've built sanctuaries online, and we've built sanctuaries with our voices each week raised in song and in prayer. Throughout this past year, there have been times when each of us, I am sure, has felt alone. Times when we've been afraid, times when we've been anxious, and yet we've been held by one another, finding moments of blessing when we realized we are so much closer. We are so much closer as a community than we ever imagined. So tonight, as we remember this past year, as we mark this moment in our COVID journey, we welcome and we celebrate Shabbat. And we'll do so tonight with some poetry that has been written during this pandemic. And our hope is that this Shabbat will allow all of us to mark this moment. It's not the end, but it's an opportunity for each of us to take a deep breath and to maybe let go of the very big breath that we've been holding for a year since this all began. And hopefully tonight will be the beginning of finding just a little bit of comfort and a little bit of peace as we join together singing a song to God.
Shir Adonai God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing along, all the earth song unto God.
A poem by Lynn Unger. What if you thought of it as the Jews considered the Sabbath, the most sacred of times? Cease from travel, cease from buying and selling. Give up just for now on trying to make the world different than it is. Sing, pray, touch only those to whom you commit your life. Center down. And when your body has become still, reach out with your heart. Know that we are connected in ways that are terrifying and beautiful. You could hardly deny it now. Know that our lives are in one another's hands. Surely that has become clear. Do not reach out your hands. Reach out your heart. Reach out your words. Reach out all the tendrils of compassion that move invisibly where we cannot touch. Promise this world your love, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, as long as we all shall live. And we turn now, if you're following along in your prayer books, to page 146 as we rise for Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu
And a poem written by Courtney LeBlanc. It's mid-August, over 5 months into the pandemic. The month we quoted back in March during the first lockdown saying, if we take this seriously, if we do this right, by August we'll be through this. How hopeful we were, how naive. I stand on the street corner waiting for the light to change. Stickers have been slapped on, do not touch button. Signs will automatically change. And so I wait, hands in pockets, sunglasses steaming from my breath seeping beneath my mask. The afternoon sun is bright, the temps still in the 90s. So when I see the shirtless man moving toward me, I think only that he's out for a run. Then I realize he's dancing. Hips swiveling, arms swaying, and legs cantering to a beat I cannot hear. He dances past me a sort of salsa two-step, hips sashaying and head tipped back as he stretches his arms wide as if to capture the glorious August heat in his embrace. Behind his mask, I imagine a wide grin, one that rivals the afternoon sun. It warms us both. We continue now with Shema.
Shema Israel Shem Kivod, Shem Kivod, Malechuto, Le'olam, Va'ed. If you are standing, please be seated.
Find the words on page 154.
You will love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And the words which I and you on this day shall be upon your heart, shall be upon your heart. You will do them gently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in the house, when you're walking by the way, and when you rise and stop, and when you rise up, and when you rise up, you shall bind upon your hand, and they be for front between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you may remember, and you walk and holy are your God, unto your God.
In the Time of Plague by N. Scott Momaday. We keep indoors. When we dare to venture out, we are cautious. Our neighbors smile, but in their eyes there is reserve and suspicion. They keep their distance as we do ours in mute accord. Much of our fear is unspoken, for there is at least the weight of custom, the tender rote of consolation. We endure thoughts of demise and measure the distance of death. Death, too, wears a mask. But consider, there may well be good in our misfortune if we can find it. It is hidden in the darkness of our fear. But discover it and see that it is hope, and more, it is the gift of opportunity. We have the rare chance to prevail, to pose a resolution for world renewal. We can be better than we have ever been. We can improve the human condition. We can imagine, then strive to realize our potential for goodness and morality. We can overcome pestilence, war, and poverty. We can preserve our sacred purpose. We can determine who we are in our essential nature and who we can be. We are committed to this end for our own sake and for the sake of those who will come after us. There is a better future, and we can secure it. Let us take up the task, and let us be worthy of our destiny. We continue with Mi Chamocha on page 160.
Mi kamocha Adonai, mi kamocha netar bakodesh, Lord Elohim, Yosef who is like you, who is like Adonai. And the children cry, they sing songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai?
We'll stay on page 160 for Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim.
In the Hashkivenu, we ask God, Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, to spread over us a shelter of peace. One of the names for God is Hamakom, which means the place. Rabbi Eli Cohen suggests that perhaps during this time, while we sheltered in place, we were also sheltering in Hamakom, the place, embraced by the nurturing source that holds and shelters us.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim.
And we turn now in our prayer books to page 164 as we prepare our hearts and our minds for the Amidah, and we pray as if everything depended on God, and we remember that we act as if everything depends on us.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agite hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora Elon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Ve'konei Hakol Ve'zocher Chaste Avot Ve'imahot Umevi Geula Livene V'neihem Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava melech ozer u'moshiach u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah, page 168. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah rav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach, morid hakashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech horim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Bichamocha ba'al givuot, Omidomeroch, Melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'emanata lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Page 170. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalaluhu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
You may be seated.
Some verse written by Brian Grant entitled Virus. We have a virus of uncertainty and fear. We have a virus of shortages and gun sales. We have a virus of jobs lost and rent unpaid. We have a virus of talking heads and false knowledge. I have a virus of canceled evenings, canceled days, calendar emptied, free from the inertia of saying yes. Destination home. Thoughts wander. Choices removed. Freedom gained. We kill the virus with questions. We kill the virus with challenged truths. We kill the virus with kindness. We kill the virus with patience.
Virus Angst by Jane Lang. Do I have it? Do I not? How do I know what I've got? My temperature is 99, a teeny more, but I feel fine. I think I'm fine, that is to say, but am I maybe just okay? Is my throat a little dry? Or is it scratchy? If so, why? If I conclude that it is scratchy, does it mean that I am catchy? My nose is runny, that's not new, but much more than it used to do. I think perhaps it's just a cold, or maybe part of getting old. It's also true that I am tired, but then also I feel I'm wired. Maybe I should take a test, take a rest, or should I take the test? I'm ready for all outdoor tasks with Clorox wipes and gloves and masks, but still I'm clueless and cannot begin to guess just what I've got. How many of us have spent this past year coughing, sneezing? It's not that, or is it? And so we pause, thinking of all of those who have been infected with the virus, certainly those who have healed from this virus, and those who still are dealing with the aftermath, whether physical aftermaths of their own of the virus, or those who have and are dealing with the loss of loved ones from this virus. This virus has sparked creativity, and very early on, we received a very special prayer for healing in the era of COVID by Peter Mayer, which I read this evening. Mishaberach avotenu makor habracha le'imotenu. May the one who blessed our patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and our matriarchs, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal our world at this time of universal need. May the one who we turn to for protection help and sustain us in this time of pandemic. As we are socially distant, may we bolster the bonds that bring us closer to dear family and friends. May the Holy Blessed One overflow with compassion for all who are ill and those who are alone, living in fear and worried about loved ones who are far away. May we find the reassuring words and warm embraces to keep our children emotionally and physically healthy. May Adonai help us to find strength in our faith, the words of Torah, and in each other. May we find stability by remembering the many blessings in our lives. May the Holy Blessed One bring strength to our clergy, who we turn to for guidance, and to doctors, nurses, and all who are on the medical front lines. May God bless those who maintain our food supplies. May the one who watches over all of us help us to find leaders who are wise. Help us to find leaders who voice hope and unity. Bless all who are desperately in need of healing and hope with refuah shlema. Adonai, please hear our prayer. V'nomar, amen.
Amen.
And tonight, if you are thinking of someone who is in need of healing, be it a physical, emotional, or spiritual healing, I ask that you call their name aloud at this time, sending it forward, outward, into the heavens. We take all of those names in our hearts, and again, we ask God swiftly send them a refuah shlema as we join together in words of Mishaberach.
Of strength, who bless before us, help us find the courage. Life's a blessing, and let us say Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
We take a moment for silent and personal prayer.
rested through the years of pain and agitation, of shock and loss, and hoping to rejoin our congregation. Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah. Habits put our lives at risk. Our homes became our havens. Who knew this time would cause us to become technology mavens? Strengthen one another. Huzzah! And most too soon departed. Their memory will not for a future yet uncharted.
So as we celebrate this milestone, I can't help but think as I look at the announcements in front of me to share with you, which you are about to see or later will see on the screen. Our building may have closed, but United Hebrew never closed. So tomorrow morning we will continue Shabbat at 9 a.m. with Torah study. 10:30 a.m. will be our Shabbat morning service. 12:30 we have our Musar study, and 6 p.m. our next week now. Sunday, March 14th at noon will be our panel about the IDF. Monday, March 15th at 7 p.m. is the Sephardic Experience, A Journey Through History, Memory, and Legacy Part 2. If you missed Part 1 but you'd like to see Part 2, just get in touch with us, specifically Corey Niedenberg. She can get you the recording of Part 1, which you can watch before Part 2 on Monday. Wednesday, March 17th, 11 a.m., Building Peace and Partnership between Arabs and Jews in Israel. Thursday, March 18th, 6:30 p.m., our Congregational Women's Seder, and I hope to see many of you on Zoom. Friday, March 19th at 6 p.m. will be our special COVID anniversary Zoom candle lighting. We hope from the garden. Hopefully the rain will stop. At 6:30 p.m. will be Shabbat services, and Saturday, March 20th at 12:30 with Alden Solovey. Next year in Jerusalem, the Seder as a rehearsal for redemption, which, if you haven't figured out, because this week is Shabbat HaGadol, that means Pesach is in 2 weeks. Yay! So Passover begins Saturday night, March 27th. There will be a Zoom congregational Seder. However, if you would like to Zoom with other people, or you are now in a safe space in which maybe you could Seder outside with family and friends, a copy of the Congregational Haggadah will be on our website, as well as a follow-along video of the Haggadah. And if you're thinking, we can lead our service, but we can't sing all of those parts, never fear. The cantor is recorded in there, and in a couple of spots, you'll be so lucky to hear me singing as well. And then on Sunday night, March 28th, with Rabbi Bellows, that is our Young Family Seder, also with Rick Recht and friends, and we hope that you will join for any and all of our upcoming Passover festivities. But as we are acknowledging this milestone, I want to just point out to today's Shabbat message, there was a link where you can sign up for next week's Zoom candle lighting, but also if you click on that link, it will take, just above it, it will take you to a PDF document. We together, our staff, created 7 different rituals that you could do to mark this year anniversary. Things like find a moment to say Shehachianu, light a yahrzeit candle that allows you to let go of the loss and the grief of this year and acknowledge it. And one of the other things is that we are going to be creating a COVID remembrance rock garden. And so we ask you, if you've ever seen a kindness garden or a hope garden with rocks, you just take a rock, you can paint on it. If you'd like to remember somebody who has passed during this year, write their name on it. If you want to remember something else from this year or write something inspirational, please do so. You can drop it in the box that is in front of the sanctuary entrance. We will shellac that for you, and we will put it in the rock garden, which will be in our messing garden. And our hope is that next Friday night we'll be able to show folks the beginning of that. And then, of course, you will find that there are still many, many opportunities for us to say Misha Berach. Tzedakah, giving tzedakah is a way that we can mark time. And as well, you will also find there is a prayer in that document that can be said when you receive your COVID vaccine. So an opportunity, that certainly is an opportunity for prayer. So all of that is there, and we hope that you will take a look at that document and that you will find some meaning in one or all of the rituals that are there. And we turn now to page 586 in our prayer book as we rise for Aleinu.
Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא זמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 591. ונאמר וחיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא ושמו
We turn to page 593. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty, but soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen, yet we do not despair. For we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. This Shabbat, the heartfelt condolences of our congregation go out to the families of Marilyn Farber, Albert H. Candell, and Marshall C. Stein. We are in the period of Shloshim for Stanley Frank Abrams, James Michael Jim Button, Scott A. Choden, Barry Lewis Dicker, Gerald Franzel, Sarah Faye Fixman, Kenneth Ken Heller, Jerry Hendon, Roland Lee Roth, Rhea Swillinger. This week, this Shabbat, we observe the yahrzeits and we lovingly remember Claude Allen Abrams, Millie S. Bierman, Richard Beldner, Rosa Bergman, Harry Block, Tilly Claris, Fanny Siegel Cohen, Leonore Dickman Cohn, John David Deichman, Leona Dreyfus, Janet Bierman Ellman, Jenny Esserman, Manuel Esserman, Edna Feldman, Rebecca Frank, Ruth Freeberger, Pauline Garfinkel, Marjorie B. Goldenberg, Gilbert Goldman, William I. Gordon, Jerome Samuel Gottlieb, Robert Grossberg, William Hafner, Daniel Halischer, Victoria H. Jablon, Frank Kenner, Max L. Kessler, Miriam Lebedin, Riva Lepowich, Henry R. Lerner, Cyril D. Levy, Samuel Ludwig, Dave Madden, Raymond Marcus, Harry Margulis, Philip Marion, Michael M. Mathis, Wilma Engel Messing, Gittel Moore, George Neufeld, Ann Oglander, Louis L. Oxenhandler, Harry Peters, Mary Newman Rosen, Fanny Rosencrans, Becky Rosenstock, Saul L. Rubin, Leo Samuelson, Helen Sanofsky, Albert Schenberg, Stan Schneider, David J. Schwartz, Fanny S. Seltzer, Jacob Simon, Agnes O. Barish Simon, Gertrude M. Sinkoff, Frank B. Spasser, Harriet Spiller, Marcia Claire Tischler, Martin H. Weil III, Annette Weinberg, Hannah Passon White, Ronald F. Wolf, Louis A. Zerman. Zichronam livracha, may each of their memories be for blessing, as we turn to the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. Yit Gadal ve'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Bialma Divrach Hirute V'yamlich Malchute, B'chayechon Uvyomechon, U'v'chaye Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala Uvizman Kariv V'imru Amen. Yehe Shemei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam Momei Almaya. Yit Barach Ve'yish Tabach Ve'yit Pa'ar Ve'yit Romam Ve'yit Naseh. V'yit Hadar Ve'yit Alev Ve'yit Halal Shemei Dekudashar Barichu. Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata. Tushbechata V'nechemata. Damiram Be'alma V'imru. Amen. Yehe Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru. Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru. Amen. And a final poem by Kitty O'Mara. And the people stayed home and read books and listened and rested and exercised and made art and played games and learned new ways of being and were still and listened more deeply. Some meditated, some prayed, some danced. Some met their shadows, and the people began to think differently. And the people healed. And in the absence of people living in ignorant, dangerous, mindless, and heartless ways, the earth began to heal. And when the danger passed and the people joined together again, they grieved their losses and made new choices and dreamed new images and created new ways to live and heal the earth fully as they had been healed. It's been a long, tough year. And yes, the pandemic, we aren't yet through it. But one of the things that we've learned over the course of this year is that we have extended this sanctuary into so many spaces and places, that we have brought God into all of those spaces, and that we have brought light and blessing into all of those places. And what we've learned is that even when we are parted with strength and with courage, we are resilient and we can get through anything. Hine Matov, how good and how pleasant it is that we can be together in all of the new and creative ways in which we have been able to build sanctuary and find comfort in this year of COVID.
Lord, prepare me the sanctuary, new and holy. Try to with thanksgiving, I'll do things. Thank you for you,
Shalom.